Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I hope you are enjoying the videos. For more insight on HR practices and real corporate world exposure, please subscribe to our channel, like the video and do share it with others. Also, please press the bell icon to never miss an update from HR Success Talk. Thanks a lot. Enjoy this video.
Hello everyone, I'm Bhavleen and let's discuss some of the approaches used to conduct audits or assessments based on the objective or the purpose we want to achieve. First on is the competitive approach or the relative approach. Auditors identify competitor organization as a model and they try to model some of the best practices that the organization has implemented. The results of the organization are basically compared with the competitor organization. This approach purely focuses on the need to be above the competitor. The example would be the Six Sigma approach that is used by the companies to follow an optimization model. Next on is the outside authority approach, an independent consultant who uses a set barometer to assess the efficiency of the organization's functions. BSI is one such body that recognizes the implementation of certain ISO standards through testing, through a detailed audit, and certifies these organizations if they meet the guidelines for the areas like risk management, business continuity management, quality assurance, so on and so forth. Moving on. Next up is the statistical approach. This is the most widely used approach wherein past data, current trends are used to derive certain conclusions. Let's take an example. Employee records, recruitment data, number of people hired, the channels, the cost of hiring, so on and so forth. There are endless possibilities when the statistical data is used to derive various details. Usually, evaluations are performed for the past 6 months to 1 year, depending upon the kind of data, the type of time frame we are looking at. Next up is the compliance approach. Now, in the compliance approach, a detailed review of policies, procedures, and the statutory and labor requirements as per the Shops and Establishments Act is conducted. This also helps us review the detailed process and how effectively they are being managed within our scope of work. For example, timely review of any exits that help us identify the number of times or the number of instances where the exit revocation was done after the employee left the organization. Now, it's important for some of the clients to have this data to make sure that no additional access was available with the employee after he or she left the organization. All right, let's move on to the next approach, which is management by objective. This is a very strategically driven approach. What really happens is there are certain goals that the organization sets as far as training, as far as certain compliance factors are concerned, and both the organization and the employees are expected to follow this. Typical examples would be ensuring that all employees in the organization are trained on certain requirements like ethics and compliance, prevention of sexual harassment, and this could also include diversity and inclusion. These are objectives that are important when we are documenting our MSA2 because a lot of clients have certain such requirements. What is also important to note is that at no given point in time, you will be using just one single approach. Anytime you are conducting an assessment, please note that you will be using a combination of some of these approaches. After we are done, moving on to the next one, which is a basic framework that helps us understand how an assessment is conducted. Now, leakages could be of any type. This could be operational, financial, reputational. It could be regulatory, compliance, and it could cost a lot to the organization. A detailed process that we set up is the basic foundation to make sure that we follow all the steps to achieve the results that help us align our objectives not only internally but at the organization level. Let's take a deep dive into the entire process. First of all, you identify the type and the level of assessment that you wish to conduct. What is your end objective? How effectively are we using the recruitment channels? What is the purpose of your audit? Is it a client requirement? Is it only to do a comparison with how we are faring? Or is it to judge our market value and take a certain certification like we discussed in the outside authority approach? Determine the scope, the logic behind designing the scope and the potential problem areas. Even when you start, you will definitely know there are certain areas that may be weak and you may want to test those. For example, in the recruitment process, do you foresee gaps as far as pay parity or the recruitment practices or candidate experience? Do you have too many early leavers, offer dropouts? While you're doing so, we need to make sure that our functional leads are aligned to the expectations of the assessment. You have a defined timeline and you inform the key stakeholders. Make a proper RACI matrix, which is responsibility, accountability, consulting, and what is your core team that you're informing about what practices are you following for the audit and what is the end objective. Next, which is the most critical part of the entire assessment, is your data collection stage. In this stage, you collect artifacts that will help you form a base in terms of your findings. These artifacts are inclusive or of statistical data, of interviews, of reviewing the operating procedures, of reviewing process documents, and the policies that are documented on your company portal. Now, what kind of statistics will help you draw some of these conclusions? Could also include interviews, could also include assessments of actual data received, and a lot of fact finding and gap identification. Once you're done with that, share the initial report based on artifacts. Give the auditee enough time to go through the report and give you an explanation as to why do they think there are certain gaps that exist are because of a certain process that they are following in a particular fashion. Get their buy-in. Let's take an example. You may come up with a finding like the referrals are not given priority, feedback is not shared with the employees on time, and hence the employees are not motivated to refer. However, it may be an organization decision to hire for certain positions from the market for the kind of diversity that they bring in the thought process, and it helps them meet their objectives as far as the management objectives are concerned. Before the final submission, make sure that the auditee has reviewed the report word by word and is in agreement to the findings and they are aligned. This makes it easier to resolve and rebuild the processes wherever you find gaps. Publish the report, suggest changes, do a periodic check. It just makes it easier for you and the internal teams to be able to comply to the certain standards that you have designed for the organization. Hope you like the content. Do take the assessment at the end of the module. All the best.